Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed is a spiritual crossing of the threshold to the world of being a truly expanded human being. Join mediums Cheryl and Kelley for conversations about discovering deep spirituality, developing your intuitive and empathic skills, and personal mediumship. Each episode will focus on tips, tools, and techniques to help you understand and expand your own inner gifts of life journey. Now, your host of Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed, Kelley and Cheryl.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed on WLTKDB Radio. And welcome tonight. I know I love saying that tonight. It's like a different word, right? Because we've always been on the daytime. But welcome to my co-host Lauri, who is filling in for Cheryl this week. But Cheryl will be back next week, and I'm sure Lauri will be back lots of times because we love her. So
thank you so much.
Don't worry, you won't lose Lauri. We love her too. And tonight we're talking all about remote healing, distance healing, just healing in general. And we're going to do some readings towards the around 7:30. So stick around for the readings if you want to you have a question or would like to kind of come up and have something read for you. But right now we're just going to kind of discuss different modalities, different types of healing and how it works. And just if you have any questions about, distance healing that you've always wondered, or if you don't know what it is, listen in. We're going to go into as much detail as we can in the next 30 minutes. How's that? And I know that Lauri does a little healing, and I don't necessarily do healing, but I always feel like mediumship is a type of healing. Yes. And I have taken Reiki classes. So I do want to talk about, the different types of healings. There's how do you pronounce it? Qigong, which was developed in China thousands of years ago. And it's a part of a traditional Chinese medicine. There's Reiki also. There's shamanism, who they use energy healing. There's people who channel the angels. There's trans healing, which is going into an altered state and channeling the angels. So angel, trans healing, whatever you want to call it. But there's people that are medical mediums like Kimberly Meredith, who really basically her hands are considered like lasers, and they target the areas and just disintegrate them in amazing ways. And she's doing that through the Holy Spirit. And she's channeling that as well. So there's a lot of different modalities of healing. And if you look in every culture, there's some type of energy healing. It's not new. It's not, what do they call that? It's not a fad. This has been around for thousands and thousands of years. So much so, and I do want to stress this, that, science is studying it. They've done studies on Reiki where they tested it on cancer patients. And they had such a great response to the patients dealing with cancer for their pain and anxiety. And it helped so many people. So it was a 5-day study that they were treated. Cancer patients were treated, and they received 30-minute sessions of distance Reiki healing for 5 days, in addition to their regular medical care. And they had lower levels of pain, anxiety, and fatigue. That's a plus. I mean, who doesn't want to get rid of those things, especially when you're dealing with a health issue, right? So it is definitely something I feel like everybody should try at least once with an open mind and be open to it, because it does work. I've had people do distance healing on me for headaches because I get migraines, and they have worked wonders. Lauri, share what type of modality of healing do you do, energy healing?
Well, I was actually just remembering a story from, years and years ago, right? Whenever I first started developing, and I just wanted to do it all, right? So I just wanted to do it all. So we formed this sort of healing group, right? So it was kind of like a development circle, but it was just a healing circle, right? And we would go and we would do healing on each other, whether it was Reiki, we called it just energy healing. We didn't have a word for it. Like, seriously, I mean, there was no word for it, but oh my gosh, I was thinking about the one time that we went and we all did healing on each other and stuff. And then I had to leave to go somewhere else. I had to drive. Oh my gosh. It was like, you would think that I was on drugs. I probably shouldn't have been driving because I felt so, I don't even know how to describe it. Like relaxed.
It's amazing.
Yet energized, and just my vibration was really, really high. Okay.
Right.
So when I talk about now, so fast forward to now, when I do healing, it's usually in a class or workshop setting. And like when we're meditating, I will send Reiki out. Okay.
Okay.
Kundalini Reiki.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm considered master or not, but so I'm attuned to Kundalini and Yasui Reiki. And but I don't use it in the truest sense. Like obviously we all have friends that are Reiki masters and they go through the whole thing and whatever.
Right.
I don't do it that way. I just do it in terms of like when people come to me for a reading, I just give healing as it's needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I that's how I am. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And when I'm teaching or if I'm having an event, I like to go into my space.
Yes.
And set the energy.
Yeah.
And I always set all this love energy. And I like to imagine my energy bubble, I call it, expanding to fill every little nook and corner of the room. And so that everybody's in my bubble of love.
I love that.
Me too. I visualize it. And I'll tell you what, I have done events where I didn't do that. Like when I go to people's homes, I don't have the opportunity to do that, right? To really kind of build the energy. And I mean, I've had great small group readings at people's homes. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love them. But I prefer to do it in my space where it's my energy and I filled it with all of that. Because to me, I've really kind of built it up and it just brings in only the love and it's an amazing night usually. Yeah. But when I don't prepare the room like that, if I don't take the time, I do feel a difference.
Yeah.
I personally do.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And you know what's interesting about that is that right there is healing. Right. And one of the things that we were talking about just a little while ago before we went live was that energy is energy. It is. You don't see it. It's just there. And everything is made up of energy. Our cards, our phones, the pen, this computer, everything is made up of energy.
Exactly. When we touch a doorknob, we're leaving our energy on there. So when you open a door in a public place, you are picking up a lot of energy that's not yours.
Yes.
And sometimes, that gets stuck on us. If somebody was having a bad day, there's like, that's not the best energy on there and you're picking that up. So it's always good at the end of the night when you're going to bed to send that energy off.
Yeah.
Send it back to where it belongs. I always like try to say that before I go to sleep. But distance healing is very much the same way. And I like to tell this story. It's my favorite story.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Because it's about my my son who passed away, RJ. So he was, a big time stoner. Really made me mad. But, that was him. And he had his marijuana card when he turned 18. And he was living in Colorado. And I'm a mom. I worried about him. He was trying to, be sober and get off the drugs, but he was smoking pot, right? And I was worried about him. So he was a very sensitive child. He was. And so I would go to these development circles and we're in this group with a bunch of mediums and I would ask everybody to send him healing. And we would do a meditation and we would all send my son healing. And then he'd start texting me, Mom, what are you doing to me? What's going on? I feel all warm and fuzzy. I know you're messing with me again. What's happening here? So he felt it. and it would text me, and it was like 9:30 at night his time, right? 7:30 our time, because I think Colorado, it was 9:30, 8:30. I was in the end of the class, and I'm just laughing, and I shared it with everybody, and we're just like dying because he's feeling it.
Yeah.
So I frequently was sending him healing, and he would always like text me like, "Are you sending me that stuff again? That weird thing you're doing, that voodoo stuff you call it?" I'm like, "It's not voodoo."
But see, that's like the misnomer. A
He
lot of
felt it.
people that know nothing about this stuff think that it is voodoo and
It's
whatever.
not. It's been around for as long as like we could go back. I mean, it has been around for so long.
And it comes from a place of love.
Yes. But why would we not think we're full of energy? How does why would we not think that energy is not healing?
Yeah.
I'll tell you another interesting story about energy and how it works. I like to gamble. I'm not going to lie.
Ooh.
I like to go to the casinos.
I'm coming with you.
I like to bring my quartz crystal.
Oh.
And my husband and I like to gamble together because we activate each other's high energy. And he'll rub my shoulders and stand behind me as I'm playing a slot machine, and I'll win and get a hand pay. Or I'll stand behind him, and we're like, do this together, right? Manifesting. And last year we won probably over almost $40,000 in the slot machines at the casino, right? Now we don't always win, but those were big wins. We won $23,000 one weekend.
Oh my gosh!
Right before vacation, wearing my quartz crystals. So everybody at the casino, of course, wants to know what crystal it is. I have to write it down for all of them.
Well, you know what we're going to do now, right? We're all going to go out, get our quartz crystal, and go to Vegas.
But I'm not recommending that to everybody. I'm just saying, though, that's another thing about how energy works. And I don't always win, right? But I definitely have a good time, and I definitely win more than I lose, because people are laughing at me. This is a gambler talking, huh? It's not that bad, I promise you. But it was, but we have a lot of fun. We're older. We can do what we want, right?
Right.
Our kids are almost all grown. We have one left. He's 16. We get to have fun. My husband's sober. We got to have whatever fun we can have, right?
That's right.
And he quit smoking. I'm so proud of him.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he's quit smoking. He quit vaping, and he quit the nicotine gum.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. He's all done. It took 3 years, but he did it.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know. I'm so proud of him.
Do you know how hard that is? I mean,
I do know how hard it is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how hard it is a lot. I'm not going to lie. I never smoked because I hated cigarettes.
Oh.
And I don't like the word hate, but I'll tell you what, I'll use it for cigarettes.
Yeah. Right.
It's not a great word to use, but for cigarettes, I'll use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now when he was quitting, did you send him healing, or did you?
My husband is so open to this.
Honestly, love that. That's so cool.
You've met him. He's a crack up.
I don't know that I have met him.
You have somewhere. He comes to all my workshops and everything. I mean, he doesn't go to the workshops, but he's always there to pick me up. He drives me everywhere. I feel like we were in one of the workshops with Andy maybe or something. I don't even know. Or maybe it was Mavis. And he came, and we were all at a hotel, and we were eating somewhere, and he was sitting with us.
Oh, okay.
And what's her name, who recently passed away, Cynthia, was there with her husband and you, and we were all at a table.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
You, Lauri.
Yeah. Okay, so we've known each other for a while. Yay.
Yes. Oh my gosh, there's a Kelley who spells her name like me. Look at this. Cool. That's how I spell my name. We're the best, Kelley. I just want you to know that everybody who spells their name like that is awesome. Okay.
That's so cute.
I love.
I never see people that spell Lauri like the way I spell.
Right? I get so excited.
I know, right? You totally get that.
Okay, there are some good questions, Lauri, that we have. I want to answer.
Ooh, yeah, let's go.
Now that we got off my little gambling kick. Sorry, guys. I am who I am. I just tell the truth. I'm not one of those people who lies.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
That. I think that's why I like you so much, because you're just who you are. I love that. I
don't pretend to be anything I'm not.
Good.
And this whole radio like show thing that Cheryl and I created, it's because we also are learning.
Yeah.
We're going to share the information we know, but we're going to continue to learn on the show with our viewers. That's our view, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do to prepare yourself to heal others?
Ooh,
For me, I do healing through mediumship. I don't do energy healing, but I frequently get it. I would say every 3 months I get a healing to really kind of reset my energy. So my answer would be really just meditate, setting an intention. I imagine that a healer does the same thing. You know, they're getting prepared by setting the energy in the room, preparing themselves, maybe special essential oils, maybe candles. I mean, Lauri, when you've practiced the healing that you do, what do you do?
Well, actually, very similar to what you do. I sit and I meditate, and what I do is I try to tap into the person that is going to be in front of me, and when I do it, which, like I say, isn't amazingly often, but it's usually within like a mediumship or psychic reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting across, and sometimes I can just tell, like, because sorry, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent.
I love it. Go for it.
Thanks. I live what I like to call a spirit-led life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to my guides and they tell me what to do, what to say. So before I do this show, before I do a reading, before I do a class, I give up everything. I give up the words that are going to come out of my mouth to spirit. And I say, whatever's supposed to come out of my mouth, let it come out of my mouth, right? Because I'm one of those, if it comes in here, it comes out there. I'm not one that thinks about it, right? Which is good for spirit work, right? Right?
I think that's why we like each other.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You know, so what I do sometimes, the reason why I said all that is because when I used to do live readings, actually, I don't do live in-person readings anymore because energy is energy, right? So what I have the person do is stand up and I do like a body scan, and you can see, like, if let's just say that the solar plexus, the yellow chakra, let's just say that it is extra bright. Okay. So that tells me, and this is spirit telling me that it's an overactive solar plexus. So then what I do is I give it some healing and try to balance it out, do that sort of thing. And then I move up, you know, and I go through all the chakras and do that. And
are we related?
Yeah.
That's what I do, the same thing.
Do you?
Yes, because I visualize it all and I see it one by one. I don't even have to have them stand up. I envision them standing up. But yeah.
Well, you know what? The reason why I have them stand up is because it's like, I hate to say it this way, but it's like tangible. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like using oracle cards. It's something tangible that they can see and touch and whatever. So if they're standing up, they're part of it, which is kind of key if you think about it. So, because you have to want it to come in to you whenever you're getting healed, right? So.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's another great question. She says, when you heal someone, it's Sherry. I'm sorry, Lauri. Lauri, this is Sherry asking the question. When you heal someone or do the healing, do you feel their pain? I just want to say I don't do healings per se. I feel that every time I do a reading, there is some type of healing in it. And in every reading I do, I feel their pain because I'm an empath. My husband just had a root canal today, and it was a pretty intense root canal. And he's in a lot of pain, and his jaw's kind of swollen. And all day today, I felt like I've had a toothache on the same side. I mean, it feels so real to me that I almost thought maybe I should call the dentist. Am I getting a toothache? And then I was like, wait a minute, honey, what side is your root canal on? And it's the same side, right?
Yeah.
And so acknowledging it helped me kind of release it and let it go. And I send him some healing. You know, he doesn't know it, but I send it to him.
Yeah.
It is something that I go through. I feel their headaches. I feel their pain. I even feel spirits that they had in the living because they make me feel it, not intentional. They want me to feel it to explain how they passed.
Yeah.
Because that's how I get passings.
Yes.
Some people see the passing. I don't want to. I feel it. I don't know which is better. I think feeling. I don't want to see things.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the same way. I would prefer to feel it because I know that when I'm sitting in a session that if I did a session today and this is going to sound really bad and I don't, don't worry. Right. But my heart was heavy and it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I think that this lady had a heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got, oh my gosh. And then I got really tired.
Right.
I got really tired.
It
And I'm
drains you. Yes.
Yeah. So that is, in a sense, how you feel their pain, but that's the pain of the spirit. That's not the pain of the person in front of
right.
you.
Exactly.
So it's different.
But I frequently pick up everybody's pain in the room. I don't anymore now that I understand that I'm this way. And I started developing. I've gotten very good at setting boundaries.
Yes.
But I went out on St. Patty's Day and, it was crazy. My neighbor owns a bar and she took me and we went and we hit all the bars downtown. And I'm not a big drinker, so I wasn't drinking a lot. I was more eating the food because every bar was offering you corned beef and cabbage, right? And me is like at the counter, like another plate, please, right?
Lots of green dye, food dye.
Right. So, but I was like so overwhelmed by all the people. And I usually have such a good boundary up, but it gets overwhelming still, even when you have that boundary. I don't go to concerts. I don't like large crowds.
Funny. Oh my gosh.
I love concerts, but I can't go. I've stopped going in my 20s after having a panic attack at one,
Yeah.
And I wish I had known when I was in my 20s what I know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went.
You know what's so funny about that is just recently, and I may have told you this story before, but we went, it might have been about 2 years ago now, but we went to the new SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles for a football game. Okay.
Yeah.
For an empath, that's like walking into a building that's on fire. Right.
Right.
It was intense. And ever since then, I'm having issues going into large crowds. My birthday's coming in April. I really, really, really want to go to
your birthday?
Club. What?
When's your birthday?
The 16th.
Oh.
When's yours?
I'm Aries. My daughter's April 3rd. That's why I was asking.
Hey. Yes, Aries were fun.
Aries. I love Aries.
Kind of.
We have a lot in my family. Okay, keep going.
We can
Sorry.
be intense. But I really want to go to a jazz club and just sit and listen to jazz because that's
I love jazz.
That's my jam. I mean, I just right.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up and there's this guy playing and that I know and that I love. I'm like, I really want to go, but I don't know that I can. I just don't know that I can. But
I get it.
Now, that all being said, I really feel like that we need to explain how you can protect yourself, right? Because we can't just sit in our houses and we can't just not go places because of that, right? Mm-hmm. What you do is, okay, and Kelley, I know you know about this, the bubble of protection.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You do, if you're an empath and you feel, and now I want to see in the comments who understands this, right? If you feel like somebody, you're walking past somebody and you just kind of go, whoa, and you look at them and you can feel their emotion, or you can feel like I'll go into Costco and I'll feel like somebody's upset or somebody's, just broke up with their boyfriend or whatever. I can feel all of that, right? However, before you do that, you imagine this big, massive ball of protection, blanket, bubble, whatever you want to call it.
Glass wall. Something.
Yeah. Glass wall. Absolutely. And no negative feelings can pass through there. Okay. So if you have if you're of the empathic nature, let's just say, try that. And you have to do it at the beginning. You have to do it over and over and over again, and keep reminding yourself to do it. But now I just kind of have it in my head.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to the grocery store, spirit team, you know what that means. You know what I mean? Like they know if I'm going to go somewhere, they need to, so yeah.
Well,
so I felt like that we needed to say that.
Well, and I think that's important. And I want to share with children.
Ooh.
They're very creative. So their bubbles pop, their eggshells crack.
Yeah.
So I will, with my son, we got to the point of, because he was always saying, I popped my bubble, I cracked my eggshell, So what we came up with was bulletproof glass that doesn't break.
Awesome.
And only love can get through. And then he had no, it couldn't crack, nothing can penetrate this glass but love.
That's great.
And so,
Fantastic.
you know, be creative. It's more about a mindset, and
Yeah.
I'm a visual person, and a lot of people are, so visuals work great. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, Lauri, I have been avoiding crowds since my early 20s when I had the panic attack at a concert.
Mm.
It was Santana, and it was an
Oh.
outdoor amphitheater in the Bay Area.
Ooh.
But everybody was in my space. I went
Yeah.
to an outdoor one because I didn't want to be indoors with the
Right.
crowds.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I had laid out a blanket for my boundary. So, you know how well that goes.
Yep.
Everybody
Yep.
was on my blanket, you know, in my space and on top of me, and I was
Yeah.
panicking.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I don't smoke pot. And everybody was smoking pot around me because it makes me hypersensitive and more feel things. And I ate a brownie not knowing it was a marijuana brownie.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like early 20s. I had no clue.
Oh.
Had another panic attack outdoors and I
bet.
freaked people out. You know, I
Yeah.
actually passed out.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I had wanted to get over this, right? I wanted to get over this because I want to go to concerts. I want to go to
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I went to India in 2017. And let me tell you, India is
It's
so
crowded.
crowded.
Yeah.
So crowded.
Yeah.
And I talked myself through it. I put my bubble and it worked. I made it.
Good.
3 weeks I spent in those crowds and I had a blast.
Oh, that's
I loved
great.
it and I never regret it. And so now I feel like I have gotten to a point to where I know I have control over it.
Yeah.
You know? We have
Right.
another great question in here. I'm just trying to find it. It's up here a little bit. Hold on.
You know, the other thing, while you're finding that question, the other thing I want to say is, as mediums, we do absorb a lot of the energy. Like, we have a client sitting in front of us, right? And we have, let's just say, a spirit coming through. Let's just say that spirit was the person's father and they were abusive. Let's just say that, right?
A lot of
So
people.
we're feeling that energy come in, and it's coming into our body. So it's really, really important when you are a medium or you're doing any sort of healing and mediumship, psychic, all that stuff. We have to release that energy, because I know lots, and I'm sure you do too, Kelley, know lots of people that get sick. Lots of mediums get sick when they
Oh, I've
don't
seen
take
them.
care of themselves
Oh, for
spiritually.
sure. So
So,
here's a great question. It's not on here. So somebody
oh,
asked us on a different page,
okay.
but it says
Mm.
from Kit Bennett, do empaths typically have more chronic illness?
Mm.
And I'm gonna say yes, because every empath I know has some kind, you know, until
Yeah.
they take better care of themselves spiritually.
Right.
And I'm the first to be honest about this. I am dealing with a lot of chronic illnesses right now
Mhm.
that have happened, kind of seems like they came on suddenly over the last 3 years during COVID.
Mm.
And it's been very difficult, and I'm really working on it. So yes, we do. And I've talked to a lot of mediums that do, and typically, not all, but typically mediums like will hold more weight. You know, not all, because some are very, like, let's look at Cindy Kaza, who's like absolutely stunning and in
Yeah.
perfect shape, right? Okay,
Yeah.
we're jealous, but you know,
Yeah. Yep.
but not all, because you know we're all dealing with our own trauma with our own work, right? And
Absolutely.
so you know, this is something that happens to a lot of mediums.
Mhm.
And some people believe like, oh, you have to eat perfect and be in shape and you have to do this and that to be this medium, to be the best medium. But some of the best mediums in the world were like the most unhealthy.
Well,
So
and
honestly,
also
you know,
too, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So
yes.
I know, and I know a lot of mediums that don't drink at all. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I'll just say, I am a wine snob. I love my wine. Love my wine. In fact, my wine fridge just broke, and it's like I'm drinking to get rid of all the bottles, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, but you
No,
know what
I
it is.
know.
Yeah.
My
But
neighbor is like a big wine lover. Yeah.
right. And I'm like, I enjoy this. This is me being a human. And that's
Mhm.
okay. You
Right.
know, allow yourself to be who you're supposed to be. That's part of our throat chakra, you
Well,
know?
everything in moderation, right?
Yes.
Everything in why should we have to limit ourselves because we think that that's gonna make our gift better? Our gift
Yeah.
is natural. It's part of who we are.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
Oh,
living
and
a healthy
you know what?
life isn't gonna make me have a stronger voice. I'm still gonna be
Yeah. Totally agree, you know? So Jessica Lynn Adams there has a comment. Yes, I am so tired all the time. When I do mediumship reading, I could sleep for takes and feel hungover. And you know what? You got Jessica, just keep making sure that you release that energy. Release it, release it, release it. And call in your guides to help with that.
Yeah. When I do my development circles, when I'm teaching, I get excited. When I am developing and practicing, I get excited and I have a hard time sleeping. To me, it's like a natural high
Yeah.
and I don't want to come back down.
Yeah.
I want to just stay in that like state of mind. It's like amazing. I have all the energy in the world. But when I come back to earth, then I'm like tired. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good tired. I want to say I sleep like a baby after doing an event. And I love it. I wake up feeling so refreshed, like the best sleep ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is 7:30. What's this? Let's see. So I'm confused. I thought when you passed, you were nothing but love. So are you saying that if someone was a horrible person here on earth, that energy is still coming through as such? No, 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 Frank. We're saying that we can understand that and feel what they were when they were living. That's the only way we're going to their loved ones are going to recognize them because they're not going to see the love that they are now. If like my mother was a psychotic woman who was mentally ill and angry and abusive, if she came through and somebody said, "Oh, I have this loving soul,"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know. That's not my mom."
Yeah.
But if they came through and they told me they're going to see how she was, actually, somebody just brought through my ex-husband recently who was a psychopath who drank himself to death. And one of my students was doing a reading and it was for me, but she didn't know who it was for in the room. And she's like, I've got a really angry, like he was really angry and I feel like, violence and this and that. And I'm like, oh, that's my ex-husband.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I'd recognize him. That's why we feel that. So it can be overwhelming as mediums, but that's not who they are in the spirit world.
Yeah.
That's what we were meaning. So sorry for that miscommunication.
There's so much to know, don't you think?
Yes. Oh my gosh, right? I feel like this is like a job. It's not even a job. It's who we are, and it's constant learning and evolving and growing as souls. Like we never stop. Even after we don't really die, even after we transition to the other side, we're still growing and learning as a soul. We're still, doing that same thing, just in a different way. Okay. So it is 7:30. Anybody have any questions or want a reading or any of that? Post in the comment. And Brianna, if you wouldn't mind posting a link so they could come on if they want, you can come on screen with us as well. But if you have a psychic question, post it in the comments. If you want a mediumship, come on to the link that Brianna posts because then we could see you.
Sorry, I thought you were
Go ahead.
done.
No, you're good.
So I wanted to throw this out, and I hope this is okay. I talk about this. I have a course coming up. I'm doing
share it.
I'm doing a course. We just put this together. It's called Channel and Commune with Spirit, right?
Ooh.
And so me and my friend, she's a Reiki master. Her name is Jess Be Inspired. She's on Instagram. She's amazing, right?
I think I follow her.
Oh, you probably do. She's so high vibrational. It's just insane, right? So can you imagine the two of us? It's going to be crazy. But what's so cool about it is I'm going to talk about mediumship and the clairs, and we're going to practice psychic stuff and all the empath. We're going to talk about all of that. But her section, it's a 4-week class. Okay. Her section is about channeling, automatic writing, and just ways that she brings through spirit. And I can't wait. So I feel like that even though I'm doing part of the class, she's doing a part of the class that I'm really excited about because I have never done automatic writing. Have you ever done automatic writing? I think you do, don't you?
Maybe.
There you go. I thought you
every
said it and I
reading.
wasn't sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I also like to do a meditation and then just start writing.
Yeah.
And things just flow out and I can't stop. Yeah.
So,
I just followed her. So it's just
oh, you're so
inspired. Follow her and follow Lauri too.
Oh,
Brianna, if you could post Lauri's info if you're interested in taking her course.
Yeah.
And
it could be, there's an early bird pricing. I forget what the pricing is. I'm sorry, but you can go to my, my website, laurialbert.com, and it's on there. You can sign up on there. So.
All right, perfect. So Brenda, if you want a reading, try to come backstage if you can, so we can bring you on for a mediumship. And there's Lauri's info down here. And
thank you.
I'll leave this one up here, but Lauri's info's in the comments. And let me bring Anne up. So let's see. Anne, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yes. Welcome. We can't see you, but we can hear you, and that's all that matters. How can we help you today?
I just wanted a reading. Anything you pick up?
Okay, well, because it's quick readings and we want to reach as many people, can you be specific, like either psychic or mediumship and a question or a specific person?
Mediumship.
Okay, and then a relationship of somebody you want to hear from.
Grandma, Gima.
Okay, and don't say names, but that's okay. So is this grandma on mother's side?
Yes.
Okay, somebody's getting feedback. Sorry, guys, I don't hear it here. Lauri, do you hear any feedback? It might be on your. It might be on your end, Frank. So I do feel grandma on mother's side. I do feel like she was very much more like a mother to you at times. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And she was sweet, loving, funny. I feel like she said things like it was. She didn't beat around the bush, but she always said it with love. It wasn't ever harsh or anything. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And I do feel like she would have taken care of you or watched you when you were very young. And I feel like she liked to do your hair. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm brushing your hair. Do you understand this?
Yes.
She's a sweet soul, very loving soul. I also feel like she would have passed when you were an adult, not a child. Is this correct?
Yes.
And you would have either been part of her care team or been there when she passed, or both.
You got it.
Okay. Lauri, do you have anything?
You know, I keep seeing her, a lady with her hands behind her back. All right. And honestly, I feel like that she gave you surprises. Like, did she give you little gifts and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I almost feel like it might be like candy or like little things like that. You know, like I was reminded of how my grandfather used to have all of a sudden he'd go behind my ear and there was a quarter in his hand, you know, kind of those types of cute things. Like, I feel like that she just wanted to make you feel special. That's what it feels like, you know. I'm also getting that she's trying to surprise you in spirit as well. So do you sense her around? Because I feel like that she is like with you a lot. I'll just say.
I do.
You do feel her?
Yeah.
And she just loves being part of your life. It's like when you're in the car, she's sitting right next to you. That's what I feel like with her. So just make sure
so much.
Next time that you are driving, just say hello to her.
Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to put you backstage now.
Thank you.
And if you want to leave backstage or listen the other way, you can. How do I remove from stream? Okay.
Very good.
Perfect. So I'm going to bring Frank up here. Hold on.
From stream. Okay.
Oh, Frank, you got to turn this off.
Oh, he does have feedback. Turn your volume
down. Turn this off, Frank. Okay. Okay, sorry, Frank. It was a lot of
maybe turn
feedback.
your volume down just a hair.
Yeah, or he just gonna turn us off when I bring you on. Can you do that? And that would be, then I can bring you back on. I can see you. If you can nod when we're off, I'll bring you back on.
According to this,
I can see you. If you can nod when we're off. Oh, you're still on.
You're on. You're on.
Oh, but you got to turn us off.
I can see you. If you can nod when we're off.
Uh-oh. It's still feedback. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, Frank. You got to turn us off wherever you're watching us. Let me move to Carolyn while Frank figures that out. Hi, Carolyn. How can we help you?
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi.
Hi.
Pardon
Well-
my mess. It's raining in LA.
Yeah, I'm here too.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's raining here in
I've been
Sacramento
out,
too.
so yeah.
Yeah, it's pouring everywhere.
I don't know if it's too soon to hear from somebody who just passed
Never
away.
too soon. Never
Huh?
too soon. It's
Okay.
never too soon. Just a relationship. Who were they to you?
An ex.
Oh, so an ex-boyfriend or
Mhm.
okay, just making sure. And this passing was pretty tragic and unexpected.
Well, not no. It was
No,
coming.
okay, that's okay. Don't just say no. It's okay. Why don't you start, Lauri, and see if you get anything, because I think I might be getting somebody different because I felt something really unexpected and tragic.
Okay.
Okay.
Now for me, just and this is why we have all mediums think differently. Okay. So I'm not making Kelley wrong. Kelley would never make me wrong, right? I usually, and it's more for the person that's here on earth. I usually don't do readings on people that just lost somebody. But obviously this is radio. It's totally different thing.
If you don't want to do that's fine, Lauri. I will tap in. I didn't know that.
No, that wasn't why I was saying that.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to say a lot of times it's harder for us to bring them in for me. Okay. But I will say, I see this man with dark hair and I feel like, everybody been doing readings today. Everybody's wearing jackets today. I don't know what that's about, but I'm seeing him in this like leather jacket. And I feel like that I feel like that he's got like a tie on, like he's dressing up because he's coming to see you. That's what I feel. Okay. Does this make sense to you, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like things ended. Things ended, with you and your ex, obviously, but I don't feel like that it was like this big, horrible, yelling, screaming, fighting type thing. Is that correct? Well, everybody fights. I probably should have said it like
was the first time, wasn't the second time.
Okay. I feel like that it's like, I feel like that this might sound strange, but I feel like his hair's all done nicely. Because he's really trying to make an impression on you. And I really, really feel, and this might sound like I could just say this, but I'm really feeling it. And I hope you trust that I'm feeling this. Just so much sorrow. Like, I feel like that he feels, I'm not hearing, I'm sorry, but I'm feeling very apologetic. I'm feeling like that there was a lot of stuff left unsaid and he feels so bad about that. But there is a lot of love there, a lot of love. So Kelley, do you want to?
So, okay, I do still feel like this was tragic and unexpected in some ways. So he may have been sick. He may have had an illness, but I feel like the whole thing about that, the way it came about, how it happened and how quickly it happened was tragic and unexpected. Okay. And I also feel like he was a stubborn guy. He was stubborn and he's like telling you, oh my God, I was so stubborn and I'm sorry. He's that person that like, he could have eaten your chocolate and had chocolate on his mouth. And you're like, did you eat my chocolate bar? And he'd be like, no, it wasn't me. Like, he's that guy, right? Not that he's a liar, but he's just stubborn,
Right.
and he's laughing about it. He also had a really good sense of humor. I do feel like, he liked to joke around sometimes to the point of like, he could be annoying. You're like, okay, too much joking, back off. Do you understand that with him? And he was full of love, though. I feel like he was full of life. He had a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, and he loved to really have a good time and just live life to the fullest when he could. But I think sometimes he got in his own way. He got in his own way when it came to his career, to his love life, to everything. Do you understand this? And he's saying sorry. And I do feel like you were the one that kind of got away because you wouldn't put up with his crap, and he's like, she was the only one that held me accountable. Everybody else just put up with it or just moved on. And you always held him accountable. And he thanks you for that because you did push him to grow. You pushed him to be a better person. And he appreciates you for that. And he's very sorry, I feel, for having hurt you because he feels like he let you down. He broke your heart in many ways. And he wants you to know how sorry he is for that and how much he appreciates your friendship, because I feel like even after he broke your heart or he wasn't good to you, you were still there for him as a friend to support him and love him. And he appreciates that and wants you to know how much that meant to him. Okay. I almost feel like you're the only one that ever showed him that in life. You know, he never felt that his whole life. Do you understand this?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of love from him. And we're going to leave you with that because there's a lot of people waiting. And I want to try to get to as many as we can. But
Love
thank you
to you.
so much, Carolyn. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
And you know what? I really, before we do that, I want to go back and explain myself. It's just my way of being, because I have read people that have just lost
Yeah.
a loved one, and it's incredibly hard for the people left here to hear the messages and stuff. So I kind of,
sometimes it is. So I always tell people it's at their discretion if they're ready. And if they can't, I've sent people away because they can't stop crying and then I can't read.
right.
You know, and I don't take their money. I always say, come back in 3 months.
Yeah.
Give yourself time to heal. But like, for instance, my son came through the night he passed.
Oh, wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah. And everybody, it was crazy. Like but I was ready to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think because of my spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
my mom took 36 hours. Oh, I was so mad at her.
well, my best friend didn't come through right away. It was hard. I was too distraught. So yeah, everybody's
right, exactly.
different.
Yeah. Exactly.
I always say, you know, if you feel up to it, then we'll make it work. But if you have to look at your own self, you know?
Yeah.
Let's bring Jessica up. Hi, Jessica. How can we help you?
Hello.
Hi.
I was checking to see if my grandfather had a message for me.
Okay. You want to go, Lauri? You want me to go first? I don't want to be like the hog.
No, it's totally fine. I'm seeing like this very tall man, tall and not like big and like large that way, but I feel like he's tall and I almost feel like I want to call him like looking sort of like, this is his term, not mine, but like lumberjacky type kind of guy. Like, was he big and built? Because this may be somebody else, but
that sounds like my step grandpa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, let me just go with this just for a minute, see where we go.
Okay.
I feel very, very protective of you. Okay. So yeah, I feel very protective. I feel like that he was that way in life as well, but he's worried about some of the, I'm just sorry, don't shoot the messenger. He's worried about some of the choices you're making right now. And he's like, I just need to be there. Like, it's like, he's telling me, he's like, I want to form this like barrier around her so that she doesn't, you know, that nobody can come and take advantage of her. Is that's what the big worry is, that somebody's going to come and take advantage of you. Does that make any sense to you at all? It's okay if it doesn't.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. So I don't know who I have, but go ahead, Kelley.
Well, I'm going to go with this. So you wanted to hear from your grandfather on your father's side?
My mom's.
Oh, for some reason, dad's side
My
really
mother.
wants to come through. Is that who you got, Lauri? Dad's side?
You know what? I can't tell.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So, let me try to get grandfather on mother's side. Now, would you understand? He's kind of a very down to earth man. He's very easygoing about some things. He doesn't like a lot of conflict or drama.
So I never got the chance to meet him.
Oh, but you don't know anything about him. So it's hard to do mediumship reading if you don't know much about him.
Yeah.
I do know a little bit about him. He did come see me. His spirit did come see me when I was born.
Oh,
interesting. So you probably met him when you were in spirit if he passed before you were born. Do you understand that? Because I met all my family in spirit before I was born, I remember. And then I was connected with them, still a lot of spirit in my family from childhood. I thought they were my angels. So if you feel that, so I'm just going to tell you who is coming through for you right now. That's not to say that the other grandfather's not there and he's not part of your spirit team. But
Okay.
what I'm feeling is grandfather on your father's side. Now, did you know anything about this grandfather? Did you know
No,
him?
my father was adopted.
That's okay.
Yep.
But he had an adopted father, right?
hmm
That's your grandfather on your dad's side. Did you know
Right.
him?
No,
You never met him,
no,
but you never talked about him?
no, not really.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, it's difficult to do. We do
Yeah.
evidential mediumship.
I
and
wonder
with
if
that,
it's
we
the
need
same guy.
validation.
Kelly,
Yeah,
do
I
you
don't know,
think you
but
and I are picking up the same man?
I do think we are. I think
Yeah.
he's very protective of you. I think they
Very
watch over
protective.
you. And I do resonate with what Lauri was saying, because I was feeling the same thing as she was tuning in. So I don't know
So-
if you're going through some transitions right now. I'm going to turn this more psychic because Spirit's here, and I
Yeah.
feel like they're guiding us. So if they're on your spirit team, which grandparents can be, you're making some different. I feel like you're making some difficult choices in your life right now. That maybe it's a job transition and a life transition. Maybe it's like the whole thing, like everything in your world feels like it's being shooken up. Do you understand that?
Yep.
And I feel like Spirit's here to kind of help guide you. Not necessarily like you're making the wrong decisions, but you're not following your own, I want to say, heart or passion. You're being more logical, and they're reminding you to, because you're very intuitive. So I feel like they're here to kind of like jump in front of you and be like, follow your intuition, not the logic. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Because
And
that's
that's
the
what
big
these
message.
spirits are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why he may be coming forward is because I look like I'm my grandmother, that my dad's biological mom that nobody ever met. We recently started talking to his family that's actually from a different country, and
Wow.
I look just like her. Like they said, it's like looking at grandma.
Oh,
So
That's probably
that's
why he's coming
beautiful.
through.
Well, you know, I strongly feel like we have soul families, and I don't know if it's true, but I do remember being in the spirit world for like 10 years because I watched all my siblings be born and all of that. And I remember being 3 miscarriages before I finally decided to come here. I kept changing my mind. But as a child, I strongly connected with my great grandmother who, you know, passed long before I was ever born. And, you know, I thought she was my angel. And as I got older, I really felt like I was her. So it's quite possible maybe you're reincarnated, but I do think there's a possibility of being reincarnated and that soul, our part of our soul, still in the spirit world, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Concurrently, because time and all of that we have it's so like such a straight line, right? But it's not really that way. So I do think there's possibilities for that. I mean, I don't know the science. I don't know if it's even true. I just have always felt it. So it's possible that you're feeling that.
Yeah.
You know, and they're there to guide you and protect you. So you need to follow that connection that you have to the spirit world and your own intuition, because you were born with it and you came here for a reason, right? So you're being led down a path to fulfill part of your own purpose in life that you've been avoiding. Okay. And now they're kind of like putting their foot down and saying, all right, it's time. We're pushing you in that direction. And you're a little bit resistant. That's what they're saying. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay. So trust it. Trust it with all your heart. All right. And know that it's okay. And it'll all work out. How's that?
Good.
All right.
I feel like I'm supposed to say one more thing.
Yeah.
This gentleman that is here, the big like lumberjack looking kind of guy, he's telling me that in your meditation, and I don't know if you meditate, but you're supposed to, right? Meditate and like set an intention that you will get to meet him. Okay. Because he wants to be here with you. He wants to help you with all of this. So I feel like I was supposed to tell you that. So.
Oh,
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. We're going to put you backstage now. Thank you
Thanks.
for coming on. All right. So Frank is back, and I'm going to add him up here. Hi, Frank.
He wants to help you.
Frank, you gotta turn this off. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Frank's
Poor Frank.
I'm sorry, Frank. I tried. Okay, we're gonna bring Lauri up. Hi, Lauri. We can't hear you. Hopefully you can hear us.
Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, gotta put the headphones.
Yeah, I gotta put the headphones on.
I can't hear without them, honestly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I don't need headphones.
Yay! How can we help you tonight?
I think I would like a medium to hear from my mother. She passed when I was 11, and she comes.
Don't tell us too much. Don't tell us too much.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just very little and just yes, no, I don't know. That way we know that we're getting through and we're bringing information that you didn't tell us. Okay. So I feel like your mom was really fun. Yeah. I feel like she was kind of a free spirit, and you're a lot like her in many ways. And you guys had a lot of fun when you were growing up. I feel like she was a really hands-on mom, and she was young. It feels like I had like young energy, and you had a lot of fun together. I feel like singing and dancing and music always playing, and just like really cool stuff like mom, and she liked to, get down and like color with you or whatever you were doing. Like she was that mom. And also I feel like she liked to cook and bake with you. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Because I do feel like I'm in the kitchen and we're just like experimenting with whatever and having fun. Just a really like fun, loving, outgoing, free-spirited mom who had a lot of love for you. I also feel like she feels to me like she was independent. She was doing this on her own. I don't know if your dad was not in the picture or if he was working all the time, because she felt like she was on her own and you weren't the only child.
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, okay. I felt like you weren't the only child. So do you have cousins that you're very close with that were always around?
Yes.
Okay, that's the feeling then. Okay, I get those mixed up because my kids and their cousin were like siblings. But
how I was with my cousin, yeah,
it was like their mom and I, we like raised our kids together like one family.
Yes.
But lots of love from your mom. She's really proud of you. And do you have a child now?
I do. I have a son.
Yeah, because I feel like she's super proud of your child, and your son's very empathic himself and very connected to the spirit world. And I feel like he may have said things about her or mentioned having a dream about her, or she looked familiar or something, because I feel like she's talking about how she's always connected with him.
Oh,
always felt like connected with him and talks to him, and she's like his guide. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So she's always watching over him, and she wants to remind you of who you are, because she's like, don't forget, you're my daughter, and you have my same spirit. So I feel like, she's like, stand up for yourself, be strong, and know that she's got your back.
Okay.
Because sometimes you doubt yourself, and she's like, stop doubting yourself, and don't let anybody tell you different. That's what she wants you to know. She was a tough lady, even though she was so sweet and loving. She was tough.
Yeah.
You would like, don't underestimate her is what I get. And that's, she wants to remind you, like, don't underestimate who you are and what you come from. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And do you get anything, Lauri?
Oh my gosh, so much. She is like in both of my ears. She's awesome. I love her energy. Okay. So this is what she just told me, this whole big thing. I'm going to try and tell you as much as I can remember. Right. When she passed, she felt really guilty that she was leaving you. Right. Yes. So she would, first of all, actually okay. She's telling me that when she crossed over, she knew she was supposed to do this, that, and the other thing, do the life review, the blah, 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 whatever, all that stuff. But she kept saying, I have to go back. And there was a conversation or whatever. I don't know how exactly it works, but they were like, no, you can't go back, but you can hang with her. And they showed her how to hang with you. And I really want to tell you that she used to hang out with you, like everything that Kelley said, coloring and baking and cooking and playing games. She did all that with you from the spirit world. Now, she's telling me that you should remember that. That's what I heard her say.
I do. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because she's telling me, she's like, I know she remembers seeing me, but then one day all of a sudden you grew up and you were like, That's my imaginary friend. That's my imagination. So that's not. So it kind of like stopped at that point. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. But let me just tell you, she never did leave you. Okay. And she is with you every step of the way. And much like what we were talking to, I think it was Jessica about, meditate. I don't know if you meditate now. Do you meditate? Okay. Create an intention. I have to tell you, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so but on Insight Timer, if you're familiar with Insight Timer, I have like a guided meditation where you can meet your spirit guides. Okay. And so I talk you through it. Okay. And you create the intention that she's going to come with you in this magical place and sit with you. So I feel like that she's telling me, I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast because she keeps saying more and more. She really would love to do that with you.
Okay.
So feel like you can do that. It's almost like I feel like, and I hardly ever say this, but I feel like that the veil for her is very thin. I feel like that she is like, it's almost like she is here. And I almost feel like that an apparition could just come right here. He's like,
that's
she's
beautiful.
really good at coming through.
Yeah, I sense her, and she's come to me through other mediums and through this pastor that I go to this church. He's a psychic medium, and she always has messages. I know she's with me all the time. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
For sure.
Thank you for the Insight Timer. Wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so that's awesome. And your name's Lauri?
Lauri, great name. Yeah, right?
Lauri.
Lauri.
Well, thank you so much, Lauri, for coming up. I'm going to put you backstage.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Lauri.
All right.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to share this. Lauri, Jessica said, Lauri, my cousin just said grandpa was just as you described. So there's confirmation. Awesome. I like that because I always say to my clients, I trust spirit over them because sometimes people just don't remember or don't know. And so I always have learned to say, okay, well, I'm not going to change it because that's what I got. And so there you go. There's validation for that for you, Lauri. Very good. Very good.
Thank you for that.
Very good.
But that was so funny because that lady was just the mom.
Yeah, like talking. Cool. I love it.
It's so much easier when they just talk and talk.
So it's time to get going, but did you want to try to do one more reading and make a few announcements after, or do you got to go?
I can do whatever you want to do.
Well, we have 3 more people waiting, but I feel like we could at least do one of them. I don't know if we're going to get to all 3.
Just do one.
So I feel like I'm going to try to reach. Hi, Keith. How can we help you?
It's Keith. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing, hon?
Good. He was just at my workshop over the weekend.
Yay.
So my question is psychic, and I'm trying to figure out, I think my job is coming to a point of where it's changing, and I'm just trying to see where it's going.
Do you want to tune into that, Lauri? Or you want me to?
You know what? I am going to pull a card.
There you go. Oh,
I'm pulling a fairy card.
Let me pull a tarot card.
Oh my gosh. I pulled the stag spirit and it says leadership. And instantly, the second I saw leadership, it's time for you, Keith, I'm sorry to be so like blah in your face, but it's time for you to take a leadership role. I really, that feels like I've got goosebumps. Okay. It's time for you to step up and just, take that leadership role and I feel like that I'm kind of feeling like in the next 3 months, some things are going to start shifting for you. So, So go ahead, Kelley.
I got this guy here, the 6, what are these, wands?
Oh, yeah.
I forget what they're called. Anyways, I don't go off of the definition of the cards. I go off of what I feel. And to me, this is about power and strength and really kind of coming into your own and taking pride and really like having the confidence to conquer what you need to conquer. And I feel like all of these little wands or whatever you want to call them are things that you're overcoming here. And it is 6. And the number 6 was coming to mind for me as well for 6 months. She said 3. I'm going to say 3 to 6 months. A lot of changes are happening for you in your career. that are good. And I want you to be open to new opportunities because you've put it out there. So when they come to you, jump on them if they feel right, and follow your gut intuition, because I know you always do, but don't overthink it this time. Just follow it. Okay. First thought is the right one. That's what I always say. Don't go, wait, what about this one?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to leave that with you.
Very true.
And thank you for coming on. We're going to cut it short. Yeah, thank you, because we had to make a few announcements. So I'll put you back there now. Whoops, how do I do this? Oh, there we go. So that was great. Thank you, everybody, for that came up and came on here to have your reading done for, everybody to see. We appreciate that. It makes it for a really great show. People who've never had a reading can really see what it's about and how it works. Maybe take their nerves away. Maybe it'll help somebody else. Maybe they resonate with your story or your reading or your guidance, any of it. So thank you. And thank you, Lauri, for co-hosting the last 2 weeks. I've had so much fun. Really appreciate it. And I will be back next week with Cheryl. I don't even remember what the show title is. Maybe Brianna knows. I'm like, but we will be back for next week's show, and I'm sure it'll be good. And Cheryl will be so excited to be back.
Yes, and can I just say thank you, Kelley? You guys are so good to me, and I'm just so honored to be here. This is so much fun, and
I love it, right?
I am so blessed, and I really appreciate. I really appreciate you. So thank you so much.
And I just want to tell you guys, I have a few events coming up. If you're in the Sacramento area, AJ Barrera is going to be here next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but the 31st and April 1st. We're doing a dem at my Love and Light Center, him and I, and then he's teaching an amazing course on April 1st during the day. Definitely, if you're in the area, come try it, come register, sign up for it, come to the dem, whatever it is, come check it out. AJ's amazing. Yeah. I only bring the best here because I love them. I'm a big fan of all mediums, and I think he's amazing. Okay, so Sacramento people, sign up for the course, sign up for the dem, whatever it is, come to one of them or both. I telling you that. I have a small group reading.
You have to do both.
Right? I know, right? I have a small group reading I do in person and online every month. So check that out on my website at mediumkelley.com/events. And then check out my upcoming 4 Earth Angels event coming up in April, as well as I will be at the New Living Expo in the Bay Area, I think San Mateo, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, I think are the dates. Again, go to my event page or go to New Living Expo. I am doing in-person readings at that event, very limited amount, because I want to be open to talk to people and share my insight and share other things. So I'm only doing, I think, 10 readings the whole weekend. So if you want a reading in person and you're in the Bay Area, check it out, New Living Expo. And that's it. I'm going to sign off and say goodbye. And thank you again, Lauri. And see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you guys so much.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.